In September 1977, Rob's eldest brother Kerry set sail from Darwin on his 28-foot bedder, Foxy Lady, with his Australian girlfriend Gail and their Canadian friend Stuart. Less than a year later, in August 1978, while Gail was visiting family in America, Kerry, Stuart and British charter passenger John were captured by the Khmer Rouge Navy after Foxy Lady strayed into Cambodian waters at Koh Tong Island, 30 miles from the Cambodian mainland. Stuart was shot and killed during their capture. Kerry and John were taken to Tol Sling prison in Phnom Penh, where they were held prisoner for 3 months, tortured, forced to sign confessions that they were CIA agents, then murdered. Kerry wrote home regularly before his death, Rob living vicariously through his brother's letters. Now, 45 years later, Rob is completing his teenage dream, following Kerry's journey as we sail through the wonders of Indonesia and beyond.
Hey guys, listen to this. It's a letter from Kerry dated 11th of October 1977. Dear Mum and Dad, I'm sorry I didn't get this letter posted earlier, but the one I started in Ende was lost. Probably in the bilges where everything else ends up eventually.
It was a slow trip to Ende from Rossi. No wind. It was almost 5 days for 220 miles. It was only a short distance, so I didn't worry about celestial navigation and just set a course. Just as we sighted Mount Iya on the eastern side of Ende Bay, the weather closed in. We arrived at Ende as the rain cleared and anchored at 6 p.m. The next morning, Gail, Stuart and I went ashore for customs. Hundreds of people lined the shore. We were the only white people in town. We had no dictionary, well prepared as usual, and no one seemed to speak English. The children followed us everywhere, whooping and calling to Stuart, who is 6'7" tall and is like a giant to the islanders. Anyway, an hour later we found the police station, where there were 3 chairs already set up for us. Big problem. All vessels in Indo water must have a sailing permit. This sailing permit must be stamped by the Navy, the Army and the military defense, and can only be obtained in Jakarta. This takes 4 to 6 months to obtain in Darwin. They held us for 3 weeks in Ende and got us one. The harbour master, the police and the local army commander gave us all the help they could, and as far as I know, we got our permit faster than any yacht I have ever heard of. 'Cause this way is my home.
Rachel is on shift.
I am, and it turns out I can't see the fads, and there are a lot of them out here. Fads are fish attracting devices. Australia, New Zealand, they would be marked with a beacon and you'd see it on the navionics. Here they're made of bamboo, they're not lit up, and they're just randomly scattered throughout the place. We've already gone past 3 on our port side, and we've got 1 off the starboard bow. I can't spot them. I don't see them. I have to look, which isn't a bad thing. I have to look through here to see them, but Rob spots them miles away.
Look out! The slalom course. It is actually, there's a lot of fads. Crazy.
It is slightly worrying because we're going to do an overnighter, and I don't know how we're going to see those until we're right on top of them.
We've only been going about, what, 5 hours? Yeah. Maybe further into the ocean, there'll be less of them, hopefully. I'm sure that's the case, surely. Anyway, we'll try and spot them as best we can. There's a bit of moon out tonight, but we've got a waning moon, so we won't have so much of it.
There's a lot of birds on that one.
And there's a load of birds on that fad, just so you know.
You've done it again.
It's a bit of a cliche now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rob's fine culinary meals served up a la carte. Is that the word?
So the chicken we bought, you've turned into a wonderful...
Butter chicken.
Who?
Butter chicken.
Oh. What's that mean?
With zushi, it was butter chicken in French.
The beurre. Beurre is
No,
butter.
butter chicken.
And poulet is chicken.
Oh, well, that too. That sounds a bit rude though.
That's just peeping.
What is
Oh,
That's the neck. I'll eat that.
Exactly,
Oh,
I
that's
got
the neck?
that's
Yeah.
what I had that, and I
We've
was
got
like,
everything other than the head
I put
in
my
there.
fork into it and then just stopped as soon as it got to the surface. So I was like all bone.
You couldn't, did you have the neck as well?
That wasn't it.
Eating bones is a really good source of calcium. And the chicken neck, which is often not in the supermarket chickens you buy these days, they remove them and you don't get them. You can literally eat the entire neck, bones and all. You just got to chew them up a little bit, but it's good. It's good for you.
You know what? I'm not going to... We've made it through another night in Indonesia water. We were a little bit worried about those fads. After about 40 so miles offshore, we didn't see any for a long time, so we figured that we'd be okay through the night. We're now 36 miles from Ende, so we're probably going to start seeing them again. Pretty dark sky out there. There's a few thunderstorms around us, a few storm cells that we hope to avoid, but which will give us a bit more wind if we get a little closer to them. At the moment we're just easing along. Yeah, a very uneventful night, thank goodness. Before long, the dramatic coastline of Ende came into view. Volcanoes dominate the skyline. Gunyan Iya's active vents busy coughing out yellow sulphurous ash.
We saw there's a whole lot of sulphur on one of the corners of the volcano. You can see the sulphur tracks. And it reminded me of Whakaari White Island off the coast of Whakatane, my hometown. Some of you may have heard it blew up a few years ago, and
Oh, it's devastating.
Devastating eruption. There were people on the island at the time.
The explosion off the coast of Whakatane in New Zealand took the lives of 21 of the 47 people on the island.
My father used to give us kids like a half or a quarter of a teaspoon of sulphur as a little, I don't know, supplement every now and then. But we would get the sulphur from White Island, Whakaari White Island. Yeah, because we don't get enough sulphur in our diet apparently, so says my dad.
I won't go for a swim, but is there crocodiles?
Well, I think there's crocodiles all the way up to Sumatra, but I think they actually shoot them here, so you'll have to wait and see. Oh, we're
going faster
running
now.
those engines.
But yeah, no, I really like the flora and fauna of our current location.
It is pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we wanted to fly the drone, but you're not allowed to fly the drone here.
Because an airport.
We're near an airport. What's that behind you, Declan? On the
Oh, this is our board of language.
please, Declan.
Namasaya Declan. Satu dua tiga empat lima enam tujuh telepon sebelam sepuluh sebelas dua pala dua belas.
Okay,
And
that's
it's like yeah, and then it just
beautiful.
goes on. Teens. So yeah, never
Yeah.
mind.
We left Kupang with another boat called Obelix, and we were ahead of them last night, but then we kind of slowed down, and they obviously didn't because they're already here and anchored.
Well, we dropped back to one engine, so
Yeah.
you know,
It's not a race.
it definitely wasn't a race.
It wasn't a race, but it's always a little bit.
We may have lost, but we're still sprinting across the line.
That's right, with our head held high.
Yeah. We're taking that. We did it. We did it. We'll win at the beginning. That's all that matters.
Hello! So here we are in Ende on the south coast of Flores, which is the first place that Rob's brother Kerry checked in at, and they were the only white people in town, so they were a big hit. We are about to get ready and head into town and have a look around here. It's just so beautiful, really lush and green, volcanoes surrounding us, very lush.
Now these guys have got their priorities right. It's not often when the mapologists do their mapping that New Zealand actually features, as it should be, on the world map in terms of achievements. You know, the first to give the women the vote. So we split the atom. What's his name? Rutherford split the atom. What else did Kiwis do on the world stage, Rachel? Remind me.
Watson Crick and...
Oh, Watson Crick, yes. Watson of the Watson Crick and Doodah found DNA. And of course we won the America's Cup. So America's Cup is now New Zealand's Cup, people. Sorry about that, just saying. But anyway, back to mapologists. These guys got it right. Look at that. New Zealand is kind of bigger than Australia. It's about really how we punch on the world stage, I reckon.
They are so cute. I hope they don't fall off.
No,
It's a hard case. We were walking up the street past this house and you could hear the ladies cackling and laughing. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we somehow got an introduction to go and meet them? And just as I said it, they said, hi, come. It's just like perfect timing. And they're making these banana chips, and I think they're cassava chips as well. Very nice. We might have to purchase some.
these are good ones.
Oh, good. So all the locals have come out, Rach?
Yeah, it's quite different to when we left. And that's also the case of Japan. In the evenings, I guess it's cooler, everybody comes down to the beach and hangs out and plays loud music.
People cleaning up. Yay.
And look, the boys seem to have company out on the boat.
Look at this, we've just had some Indonesian kids swim all the way from the beach out to our boat. Here they are. Hello.
There's two more coming out. I kind of want to go for a swim with them.
Yeah, let's go for a swim.
Yeah.
So let's do it. At the front? Yeah, okay. 2, 3. Wow, look at these legends. They like no fear swimming all the way out here. That's crazy.
Oh my god, it's gonna sink.
So got up at 3 AM this morning. It's only about, I'm not sure what time it is now, it's probably about 3:30. Up anchored, got going, and leaving Ende. And it has just struck me that, of course, we met some of the local people who were selling gave us the banana chips and the cassava chips yesterday. And you know what? Just thought that some of the older people there would have met Kerry back in 1977. And it just makes me think that, you know, those hundreds of people that were on the beach and Kerry being there for 3 weeks waiting to organise the visa, he would have interacted heaps with the locals. And certainly Stuart, his Canadian friend, was 6'7". It's incredibly obvious in this community. And I'm feeling really don't know, I'm just feeling quite a bit emotional about it. I'm kind of thinking, I actually think, should we have even taken photos of Kerry, photos of the yacht, and shown some of the locals, do you remember? And I'm sure some of them would, as I said, and you know, is it going to make a difference? Am I going to be able to have genuine conversations with them? Are they going to pull out photos of Kerry? Very unlikely. Anyway, it's we're on the move. We've got to keep heading west, getting to Bali.
Thanks for watching. If you're new here and you'd like to learn more of Rob's family story, we have 2 videos. This one, which was a talk Rob gave, or this one, which is a bit more in depth. Similar, but not the same.